Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Imprint. Today, in the environment series, we're talking about a topic which has come from current affairs and very good news that the population of the majestic Asiatic lion living in the Gujarat Gir forest is up by almost 29%. And even the geographical area is up by 36%. So, the Prime Minister congratulated the people of Gujarat and all those whose efforts have led to this excellent feat. Uh, I think everybody should know that Gir National Park is the only place in the world where you can spot lions freely roaming in the wild. Okay, so if you compare it to the Serengeti in Kenya, so I would say that it's very very beautiful, and as you can see in the pictures here, wonderful, wonderful. I think a lot of you might have visited, but I would say if you haven't gone to the Gir National Park, I would suggest you should. So this is the article in the Hindu. So it says Gujarat pride grows as it now hosts 674 lions. So let's try to talk about that. So what was in 1990? We had, if you look at it, just 284 lions, and we have nearly tripled, I would say. And also in comparison to the last two census, we have increased quite substantially, 112 previously, and now here, obviously, a little more than 151. So 151, right? 150. So Gujarat prides itself on hosting the Asiatic Lion exclusively, and their numbers have now risen to estimated 674. And also, this has happened that other revenue areas of coastal Saurashtra, the lions have also been there. So, once seen as threatened by extinction, the lion population has grown by almost 29% from the last count. And today, the Asiatic lion are present in the protected areas as well as the agro pastoral landscapes of Saurashtra, covering 9 districts over an expanse of 30,000 square kilometers. Now, the State Forest Department says there are 674 of them. During the 2015 census, the baseline was 523. Moreover, the distribution of the lions has increased from 22,000 square kilometer in 2015 to 30,000 square kilometer in 2020. So, over the last several years, lion population in Gujarat has been rising. And what are the reasons? The community participation, the emphasis on technology, wildlife healthcare, and proper habitat management, and steps to minimize lion-human conflict. And this, hopefully, this trend will continue. This is the quote of the Prime Minister. Now, the forest officials said there was a consistent increase in the population distribution. They had implemented strategies, as we talked about, community participation, etc. Also, what happened was, a few years ago, 2018, in October, we had the canine distemper virus affecting the canines, that is, big cats. So these, it was seen to be that there's a lot of fertility rate. In dogs, the fertility rate of the canine distemper virus is 50%. Now, they were imported and the lions were vaccinated. Though there was some protest by the wildlife, conservationists, they said that it might lead to more complications in their immunity, but still it was done, and the lions obviously finally were able to sleep peacefully, I would say. Now, this year, the department carried out a population estimation exercise. We'll talk about this in more detail. The Indian Express article talks about this because the 5 yearly census could not be held due to COVID-19. And as we know that in October of 18, Gir actually witnessed outbreak of CDV in which 36 lions had died. So at that time, the Prime Minister had directed the state authorities to import the vaccines at that time. Sadly, no vaccines for the corona still now. Luckily, CDB has one. As per the Forest Department's 161 males, 260 female, 45 sub-adult males, 49 sub-adult females, 22 unidentified, and 137 cubs are there. And the male-female ratio is healthy. There are less males in comparison to females, so this is seen to be very, very positive. Now, this is the article in the Indian Express, and it says the question is obviously how did Gujarat estimate its land population without holding a census? Right? Remember, the census is conducted every 5 years. The land census was due on 5th to 6th June this year. It was postponed because of the lockdown, right? And 1,500 guard, foresters, and range officers were deputed on policing to enforce the lockdown here. The forest department normally invites the NGOs, wildlife enthusiasts to join the census for transparency and documenting. But this time, it was not advisable to send people inside the forest, as what happened was that a tiger in the Bronx Zoo in New York had obviously a case of COVID, right? So from a human to a tiger. So we decided this will not happen. So what did we do? Right. So through of Loken, which is a monthly in-house exercise carried out every full moon, field officers and staff spent 24 hours assessing the number of lions and their locations in their respective jurisdictions. And this was also done in 2014 as part of the preparations. This time, what happened was on Friday from 2 p.m. to Saturday at 2 p.m., 10 districts were covered where lion movements have been recorded in recent years, and in 13 forest divisions. And all these divisions except Surendranagar and Morpi were part of the 2015 census also. So now the question comes, is it reasonable to do this? So the lion census involved large participation, around 2,000 officials. So obviously this makes it very transparent. Right, this observation this year was had 1,400. The lion census usually runs for more than 2 days, including a preliminary census and then a final census. This was done using a back counting method, in which the census enumerated stationed at various points were given a block, and then in that block they estimate how many uh, lions are there. Now, this is on direct sightings. Obviously, what happens is lions tend to go to a place where they have to drink water once in at least 24 hours, especially in summers. So at that time, this was done. Now, the lion observation in-house. So there is a lot of criticism of it. A lot of people have criticized. Uh, Now, the methodology too is different because the remaining, instead of remaining stationary water points, the team keep on moving, and they make their estimates on inputs provided by land trackers on in chance. So, there is again, a case in which they might say that, do you have double count or something. Now, the question is, has the lion census ever been postponed? So the first lion census was conducted by the Nawab of Junagadh, and this is in 1936. Since 1965, the Forest Department has been conducted. The 6th, 8th, and 11th census were delayed by a year for various reasons. The thing is that the 2020 census is important. Remember, 2015 census, we had an increase. But remember that there were a flash flood after the 2015 census, and there was also deaths of more than 2 dozen lions, the 36 lions, as we say, because of canine distemper and babesiosis in 2018. And there's also an outbreak this summer, of babesiosis. So 2 dozen lions was reportedly killed. So people say that, is the census, what you did was actually correct or not? It's debatable still, I would say. Now, with this, these are the critics, and this is the government, I would say, in some ways. And with this picture, beautiful picture of a lion and a lioness, being aggressive towards each other, we leave you. Thank you so much for listening. Do subscribe to our channel, join our Telegram group for the PDF of this video. Do like and subscribe. Thank you so much.